Hello, everyone. If you are also fed up, you're in the right place because we are going from fed up to well fed. So let me start this off with a prop. I used this example last month, but thanks to Goya. Don't mind this is like my third serving, so the beans are less than the white rice. But okay, so there's a Cuban dish called moros y cristianos, which in English stands for Moors and Christians. The black beans represent the Muslim Moors, and the white rice represents the Spanish conquistadors. This is us right now. We're in this huge divide. And honestly, I think that the political discussions of relating to food should end in this dish alone. Because that's actually a very political dish, if you ask me. Unfortunately, the events that we are seeing are political and tend to boil down to party lines. Speaking of boiling, it has become increasingly frustrating seeing one side silencing the other unfairly. We've been completely duct taped. It doesn't matter if you are a person of color or if you are, Native American, if you are Hispanic, it doesn't matter. They don't want to listen to the other side. So if you are a dissenting voice, you are automatically canceled, which is really interesting because there's a lot of minorities on this side. And that's why I felt like I needed to say something, because as a millennial, a conservative millennial, I tend to lean conservative, and then I'm also a minority. I am half Persian and half Hispanic. The Hispanic side is made up of Cuban and Puerto Rican lineage from Spain. Since we're all learning about like race and ethnicity right now, it's so fantastic. I've been wanting that to happen since, I don't know, I was 14 because there's this huge ignorance, and I think that it could solve a lot of the world problems today. Okay, so yeah, lineage Spanish, and there's blonde, blue-eyed on both sides. So Hispanic is not a race, it's an ethnicity. And if we could all just absorb that can of beans, I think a lot of our problems would be solved. So it's just interesting that one side could openly cause a multitude of companies to express solidarity with a political movement, because it is political. And that's another issue too. I think more people should analyze and look beyond just the name to see what the motives and ideologies are. And then the second that a minority owned company, Goya, a Hispanic company, expresses support for the current conservative movement, canceled. So minorities have been canceled. It's a large employer of minorities. So is one side really in support of minorities, or is this down to ideologies? Because that's what it seems like. And it's really interesting because this week has been very Hispanified, starting with, Walter Mercado. And fun fact, my grandma actually knew him. She helped give him one of his first gigs. She directed a TV show in Puerto Rico. So little fun fact there. And then just observing the media over the past month, it's really sad because it's not what it used to be. I know my grandfather would be rolling in his grave right now. He was the first anchor man in Puerto Rico. He initiated Telemundo, but he was Cuban. He's a Cuban one, born and raised there, but he moved to Puerto Rico. And after Telemundo, he worked with the United Nations and then Voice of America. So I know if he were still around, he would be very upset with the media today. because it's not what it used to be. And it's very sad. It's very biased. It's not very fair and balanced. So, I just felt like I needed to express a voice, because I know there are other minorities who have been silenced. There are other non-minorities that have been silenced as well. And I think it's fair for our voices to be heard. So if you feel like you've been silenced in opposition to the mainstream narrative, there's a lot more support than you might feel. And our voices need to be heard. So, especially, if you're a millennial, I feel like the majority are left leaning. But anyway, back to my prop, because I'm still hungry. I need to eat. No, I'm just hungry all the time. But yeah, so why don't we go ahead and mix that and get along, But just remember, you don't lose your identity, because every voice matters. And that's what makes America, America. The mixing of ingredients and all of us getting along. Okay? So I know a lot are buying Goya right now. Enjoy it. And I hope that hypocrisy really is canceled. Out of anything that needs to be canceled, it's hypocrisy. And humility needs to make a reappearance, because it's not fair to cancel a company just because they supported something that they believe, and we're still silenced. But not anymore. At least not right now.